Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Marlou and this is May Books, and today I'm going to do a May wrap-up. Sorry it's a bit late, I had a huge cold, I barely could talk, and yeah, I'm here now. It's cool. I only read 6 books in May, so if you've seen last month's wrap-up, I read a lot of books, and going into May, I get that strong. Like the first week and a half, I was just like, probably have read all these 6 books in those first 1.5 weeks, and then I started The Idiot, and the idiot that I am is getting a book slump from that. I have been reading again. I finally pushed through. I started this book I was really excited about. You'll see that next month. So I'm getting out of it, and the sun is finally out again. Like, this is the first day it's out again, but that would be great for my reading. The weather was bad, my mind was elsewhere, then I got sick. It was not a great time to be a reader. So we're just going to talk about 6 books I read. So the first book I read is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I've never read a book by him, mainly just because it's very popular, and thrillers that are popular are often very not that not that good. Like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good, but I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was pretty decent. So this book is about a woman, and she lives in her family summer cabin, and she's an alcoholic, and she's just watching the neighbors with her binoculars, and a new couple moves in or something, and she watches them, and she kind of befriends the women. I don't know how much I can say, but I was really intrigued with this book, and it has some supernatural elements to it, but it was not bothering me. I actually really enjoyed this, so I might be reading from him again. I just do love an alcoholic female main character. I like the unhingedness of that. I just like the idea she's just sitting there getting drunk, watching people with the binoculars. Like, I wouldn't do that personally, of course, but it's a vibe, you know? And it's also kind of scary, and there's also a hot neighbor that, you got me there, you got me. So that was fun. Then I read Mr. Celery by Sally Rooney. This is a 30-page book. That is a text message I send to someone who wronged me. Like, girl, did that need to be a book? But I wanted to read it. I love Sally Rooney's work, and it was good, but what I wrote in my book journal is too short to be good or bad, and that's kind of how I feel. Like, it was kind of interesting, but it was also 30 pages. Can you call that a book? I mean, I called it a book, obviously, but that's kind of crazy. Anyways, so I gave it 3 stars because I cannot rate this. I cannot rate this article in a paperback. Anyways, the next book I read is The Renaissance of Gwen Hathaway. I read this book because for our book community, the prompt for the month was reading about a plus-size main character, so I just asked for recommendations, stumbled upon this book. I gave it 3.25 stars. This is a YA story about a girl, and she is kind of with the circus, no, with the carnival. Carnival. I don't know, something like that. And she meets this guy, and he dresses up, and his family is the royal family of the carnival. I don't really know, but it's just a cute story of a girl coming of age. It was cute. I listened to it as an audiobook. I had a good time. I honestly just read it for the points I was getting with that. It's not really my thing, YA. I don't like reading a lot of YA, but it was fine if you were looking for a cute little whatever. I would never not read a book because the character's plus size, but I also wouldn't search for that. I just read whatever sounds interesting to me. So yeah. And then I read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I always get a bit nervous when her books come out because sometimes it's I love Beach Read, and I don't think anything will ever beach read. I mean, I hope it does. And then Happy Place was like, I don't even understand why people love it. I didn't like that. Funny Story was fun again. And this story is different because we have our main character and she's a writer, or more like a journalist, I guess. And she finds this woman who was famous but disappeared from the public, and she wants to write a book about her. And then this other guy also wants to write a book about her. So they, you know, have to challenge each other to get the job. So this book is partly our main character story and the love story. And then there's also the interview part. And it felt very wannabe The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. But the difference with that is nobody cares about the interviewer. Everyone cares about Evelyn Hugo. And with this book, it's the other way around. Like, I don't really understand why I would care about this woman. Like, I don't even remember her name right now. And I love the love story because what Emily Henry does best is banter. Just like the thing. And I've seen a lot of people complain about how the love story was rushed or like not that interesting. But she had to write a book, but she's writing like romance, but also this whole other thing. And combining that is really hard. And I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is really good at that. And Emily Henry is just trying it out for once with this book. So I don't want to be harsh with it. I gave it 3.75 stars because after reading it, I really felt good. Like, oh my God, I love this. At the same time, I also think like, you know, it's just like her writing has so much potential. And I don't know if this was good or, I don't know. It had the potential to be really good. I just think that the romance part was way more interesting and it was not the main thing, and because of that the romance could come off a little, you know, fast and just like empty a little bit. But I just really liked it, and it was funny, that too. There's this scene in the beginning and our main character is kind of like Grumpy Sunshine, and she's leaving something at his doorstep or something, and she's knocking on his door. And he's grumpy, so she's knocking on his door. Then she's like, grunt twice if you are there. It's like, I cracked up at that. I love grumpy men that Emily writes. I don't need them in real life because I'm not sunshiny enough. But yeah, I just really like them. I would have wanted more of that. At the same time, I like that she's dipping her toes into literary fiction. But also like stick with what works for you. I don't know. I think it's brave of her trying this out. I think it's easy when you're a best-selling author, you can just write cheesy romances for the rest of your life and be sad. And just do that. And I think it's great that she wants to keep putting her heart into her work. So this is not my favorite book by hers, but it's definitely not my least favorite. Like I really did enjoy reading it. But yeah, I didn't read it that fast because every time the interviews kept coming and it's like, I didn't care for it as much. So yeah. The next book I read is Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. I listened to the audiobook. I gave it 3 stars. Sometimes with these like cozy crimes, it's not really cozy, it's just silly. And I don't know. For me, if you read a silly book, it better be funny. It better be somewhat believable. I mean, those two words don't go into the same sentence, silly and believable. But yeah, I just thought, what is up with this book? What is it I should like about this? Like, I finished it. It was okay. Okay, what was it about? It also, the thing, it confuses me a little because this is about an author and she goes on like a author trip, and there are people who won the trip, and there's also people like who work with her and other authors all going on this trip. And the book she got famous with is called When in Rome, but that's also a real book, but that's a different author. So it's almost like, huh. And the guy she used to date is the character in the book, which is weird to me. You're not gonna write a fiction book and then keep the name in. I don't really understand how that works. So she kind of feels like she has to like get rid of him because she needs to keep writing about him, and she doesn't want that because she has to pay him for that. It's weird. Like, why would you do that? And then, you know, it's about like that guy is like, I don't know how much I can say, but like people are scared of getting murdered. There's some murder. I won't be continuing the series. And then the last book I read is Heartstopper Volume 3. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoy these books, okay? But I read them in like an hour, and then also I think maybe I'll enjoy part 4 and 5 more because I've already seen the TV show. So everything that happens on the pages, I've seen that exactly in the show. So there's no like surprise effect. I know exactly what's going to happen. Maybe when I read the books that haven't been turned into the show yet, I can enjoy it more. And I want to read the series. I enjoy it, but I don't think it's life-changing or anything. It's just fun to read. So if we look at this, I read a Heartstopper book and a 30-page book. That's how little I read. It's crazy. It's so sad. I was so well over my way to the 100 books. Like I was gonna top it. I'm not behind yet, but it was sad. So hopefully next month I'll be back with more books. Yeah, and my review on The Idiot, when I finally finished it, I still have 100 pages left, and I felt like I've given 5 years of my life to that book. But I'm not going to talk about it right now because that will be for next month. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my main channel. I also do book journal videos on there and also a lot of other stuff. You can find me on Instagram at @SmajoronsLowBar. I also have a shop. I sell blind dates with books. Really fun with a handmade bookmark and stickers. And I also sell handmade bookmarks, and I also sell other books I read. So you can check that out. My vintage is also in my description. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'd love to see you next time. Bye!